What is going on, gang? So, in this one, we have a recap of last week's letter on Substack, which is the net worth killer in your pocket. All right, so a couple of things to go through in this one. Um, First piece here, every time we just check Instagram, we are losing money. So, a lot of times we talk about taking mental breaks in our day. And with social media, it's almost like this thing where it's kind of like, oh, it's just 2 minutes. What can that really do? Over the course of your day, you could see through the research that I found statistically that that adds up to a lot of time. And for most millennials and Gen Zs, we spend an average of 2 hours and a half on social media every single day, which is actually pretty nuts. In my own life, for the past, I would say 10, 15 years of just being a normal individual, I kind of got into social media around middle school with MySpace. I never really had a MySpace, but my friends had it, and I would go see their top eight. I would go see the songs they had on their profile, and that kind of eventually had everyone convert to Facebook. In high school, I would say this is where I started using social media a lot more. And since high school, currently me being 30, probably around what, 13, 15 years of using social media consistently, I could definitely see some form of like, I wouldn't say addiction, but impulsive decision to go on Instagram consistently throughout the day goes by. One of the things I would say, right, is the following. A lot of people talk about social media is bad for your mental health, which I would pretty much agree with it. I feel like there's a lot of it that's bad for you mentally, but also there's a lot of it that affects you financially. And here's why. My brother sent me a video last week on how boredom is extremely vital and key for us to level up with our business, with our financial well being. And the reason behind that is because if we don't give ourselves that time to just sit down and do nothing, then we can't possibly cultivate new ideas. One of the ways I've seen this in my own life is a couple years ago. I took a flight to Puerto Rico with my wife, and we were on vacation there for a week. And I didn't have access to social media. And there was just one specific time that I remember I was super relaxed. We were in the beach, and I genuinely got a great idea for my social media content for my business that I never thought of in the years prior. And when I kind of look back in hindsight, it was because I really had nothing else to think about. I was just in the moment, didn't have Instagram on me. I wasn't thinking about my business. I wasn't doing anything related to it. And then new ideas came from that. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and give you like a fake story about how revolutionary it was that moment. No, but it was honestly a really good idea that came about by just doing nothing. And there's research that I read in the book by Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers, that it talks about that most people cannot actually sit by themselves. So like try this in your own time. Like I've tried it in my own life. It's pretty damn hard if you're used to going on your phone all the time. But try to sit still for like 10, 15 minutes and see what happens. Like don't go watch Netflix, don't play, I don't know, video games, don't do anything but just sit down by yourself and try to figure out how comfortable you can be with yourself. Uh, the last piece here, and I want to keep these videos short to kind of give you recaps and give you additional information. One of the things that's important with financial well-being is something called Pareto's Law, which means that 20% of your inputs results in 80% of your outputs. Again, for our generation and probably for a lot of other generations, but even more so us with technology, we're kind of always told that we need to always be productive. We need to always be doing something with our time. Hence why you see those videos of the morning cold plunges, meditations, positive affirmations, journaling, um, doing everything and anything before 7 a.m. and then doing your workday, and then after workday doing a bunch of other different shit. What I'm here to tell you is that financially and in business, and I feel like this is fundamentally true, this is not something that I'm making up, a lot of times we really just need to focus on the one thing. So a prime example is like, if you want to better your financial situation, one of the most primary things you could do is apply to jobs and see if a job is willing to pay you more than what you currently make now, right? Again, There's no mantras involved in that. There's no positive affirmations in that. It's as simple as saying, okay, like what are the actual priorities? Okay, fixing my resume, applying to jobs, reaching out to people on LinkedIn, right? Those are three things that if you were to just focus on those, if we were to focus on those, then we could probably get a job that could pay us more. So that's kind of like a simple example. Again, I just want to show you that a lot of times through social media, they're going to make you feel like you're lazy or they're going to make you feel like you're not doing enough. Just focus on what matters and ultimately everything else will help you. Now, the last thing I want to get back to before we end this off is talking about the company that I partnered with that is known as Brick. It's a very simple device. It is a magnet that you could attach to your refrigerator, and within the app on your phone, which I'll show you now, you can basically pick the apps you want to lock. So in my case, I have Instagram, TikTok, Apple Music locked in my Brick. So I select the apps on the actual